and you have meetings and you ask for something, does anybody say no to you?
That reminds me of the question that my father was asked a long time ago. He was asked if the British colonial government had refused him anything for which he asked. He said, no, but I haven't asked them for anything yet. So I don't usually ask for too much. I think that we need to have a sense of responsibility, that our own country must struggle, and because of our own struggle, we must deserve the help that people are so willing to give us. When I think of what has happened to education in Burma, we can see very clearly that in the days when we had an accountable, democratically elected government, the education system was one of the best in Southeast Asia. And once the military regime had taken over, the lights went out one by one. The education system got worse and worse for two main reasons. One was that the government was no longer accountable to the people. Secondly, a dictatorial government does not want its people to think too hard. And that is why they did not put the right kind of emphasis on education. They did not want education as a means for sharpening people's intellect, as a means for increasing people's ability to analyze and to ask questions. It will surprise you perhaps to know that what we are trying to teach our young people now is simply to ask questions. This started in our own political party when so many of our members were arrested almost on a daily basis. We had to teach them a very simple question to ask. Ask them if they have a warrant when they come to arrest you. Even that question did not come naturally to us after years of an education system where we were not encouraged to think. So when I ask for help from the world, and the world is willing to give help, I feel that we must match the help given to us with effort on our own part. We must learn to stand on our own feet. We must have that kind of pride that we want to do as much for ourselves as possible, rather than just standing with our hands out. I always say to our people, you don't get anything for nothing. You must be prepared to pay. Pay with hard work, pay with commitment, pay with dedication. And we want a government who feels the same way. We want a government that is accountable to the people and that is accountable to itself, that takes pride in doing as much as it can rather than getting as much as it can. And this, for me, is the key to real education. Our people must be self-reliant, and from that will come self-confidence. In the days when Burma was a leading nation in Southeast Asia, we were full of confidence. We thought that we were the equal of anybody else in the world, and we were too. We did very well. But I see now a younger generation who have no confidence in themselves. They feel that they don't know as much as people from other countries, that they don't have as much. And this is going to be one of the most difficult parts of our new education, to give our young people the self-confidence to stand up for themselves and to work for themselves rather than just to wait for others to give. So for me, education is as much giving as taking.
So, we were under house arrest. There were many campaigns around the world on university campuses. Lots of students were supporting your release, campaigning for your release. So what does educating for global citizenship, what does that actually mean to you? And what should we be teaching our young people?
I actually agree with what you said, that global citizenship begins at home. I would say that getting on with your neighbors is the first step towards global citizenship. But of course we have to think of global citizenship these days in terms of technological progress. We can get in touch with one another right across the world, and we have been tremendously helped by young people from faraway countries who cared about what was happening to us, which proves that we all share common concerns as human beings. Why is it that a young student far away in a university in the United States cares for a dissident in Burma? Why? Because they're able to relate to us. They're able to understand what we have gone through because of education. They have been given the opportunity to expand their minds and to learn to think how others might feel. The closer, the more narrow your mind is, the less you are able to understand how others in a different situation might feel and might suffer, and that others in a totally different situation may actually be just the same as you when it comes down to human emotions, human aspirations, hopes, fears. So education is all about, in the last analysis, making you aware of our common humanity. If it does not make us aware of our common humanity, education is not going to promote peace. It's not going to promote genuine progress. That will mean a happier world. So I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody who has been so supportive of our cause throughout these long years. I've had many kind words just today, even today in the United Nations, meeting people I'd never met before. Her Majesty very kindly telling me how much they've cared for us and how much they've wished us well, and others from other parts of the world. And that comes of education. People who have been educated to think for others are the kind that we want most.